My phone was ringing, and I almost let it go to voicemail. If I had, I would have missed something that changed everything. Welcome to God Showed Up Stories. This story reminded me of a time when I felt overwhelmed and disconnected, and how God can use the smallest interruptions to redirect our entire path.
I had just gotten home, dropped my keys on the counter, kicked off my shoes, and sat down on the couch like the day had completely drained me. Because it had. Work had been exhausting. My mind was full. My energy was gone. And honestly, I didn't feel like talking to anyone, not even for a minute. I leaned my head back and closed my eyes. Silence. Finally, then my phone rang. I didn't even look at it at first. I just let it ring, because I already knew what I was going to do. Ignore it. I'll call them back later, I thought. But something made me open my eyes, just for a second, and I reached over, picked up my phone, and looked at the screen. Unknown number. I sighed. Even more reason not to answer. It's probably nothing important. The ringing continued. Loud. Persistent. And for some reason, I didn't decline it. I just stared at it. And then that familiar feeling came. That quiet nudge. Not loud. Not urgent. Just there. Answer it. I frowned slightly, because that didn't make sense. Why would I answer an unknown number when I was already exhausted? But the feeling didn't go away. Answer it. I hesitated, just for a second. Then I tapped the screen. Hello? There was a pause. Then a voice. Hi. Is this Daniel? I sat up slightly. Yeah, this is Daniel. The voice on the other end sounded unsure. Hey, I don't know if you remember me. It's Marcus from a few years ago. My eyebrows lifted. Marcus? I hadn't spoken to him in years. We used to work together, briefly, but life happened and we lost contact. Marcus? Wow. Yeah, I remember you. He let out a small laugh. Yeah, I wasn't even sure if this was still your number. I smiled slightly, confused but curious. What's up? There was a short pause. Then his tone shifted. Honestly, I've been going through something lately, and for some reason, your name came to my mind. I sat up straighter, because now this wasn't random anymore. He continued, I don't really know why I called. I just felt like I needed to. And in that moment, everything changed. Because suddenly, I understood. This wasn't about me being interrupted. This was about me being available. We talked for almost an hour. About life. About struggles. About things he had been carrying that no one else knew about. And at one point, he said something that stuck with me. I don't know why I called you, but I'm glad I did. And I knew why. Because God knew. Because sometimes God doesn't show up in big, dramatic moments. Sometimes he shows up through a phone call you almost ignore, through a moment you almost miss, through a decision that feels small, but isn't. When we finally hung up, I sat there in silence, looking at my phone, thinking about how close I was to not answering, and how that one choice made a difference in someone else's life, and mine, because it reminded me of something important. We're not just here for ourselves. God can use us, even when we're tired, even when we're not expecting it, even in the middle of an ordinary moment. So if you feel that small nudge to check on someone, to answer the call, to reach out, don't ignore it, because that might be God showing up. If this story spoke to you, comment, God showed up, down below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to God Showed Up Stories, and turn on your notifications so you never miss a story. And share this with someone who needs this reminder. Thanks for listening. And remember, God always shows up right on time.